protecting the lives of unborn babies to now taking an active role in ending them. As a nurse, I find it extraordinary that the Minister for Health expects us to embrace this change without him or his department ever consulting with nurses or the official bodies that represent us. Under the government's abortion bill, doctors, nurses and other healthcare workers are forced to be involved in abortions when the situation presents. We are compelled to take part even though we know the abortion procedure has nothing to do with authentic healthcare. Donna Mendoza is a registered nurse. 30 years ago, she was born alive after a failed abortion. She was not placed in an incubator or given medical care. Instead, she was put in a shoebox and left to die. Thankfully, she survived and today is a teacher and nurse. Donna told her story in recent days to some TDs. From this, I have a question for Minister Harris. Minister, would you compel Donna as a registered nurse to be involved in abortions and force her to do to others what was done to her? Or are you going to amend your bill so that people like Donna and the rest of us don't lose our jobs when we conscientiously object to being involved in abortions? We demand an answer from you, Minister. Please don't tell us that freedom of conscience is already protected in your bill, because it isn't. While we're awaiting a response from the Minister, I would encourage everyone here to continue to lobby their TDs in the days to come and demand proper freedom of conscience provisions in this new law. And to any of the members of the Oireachtas listening, I appeal to you to take a closer look at this bill and vote against it. It is unlikely that a more important vote will ever take place inside the Dáil. There are doctors, nurses, pharmacists and other healthcare professionals all over Ireland who are terrified about what is going to happen. To everyone here, I would say, please don't abandon them. And to all the healthcare workers present, let's work together and be there for one another as we face these new challenges. Only last week, the Supreme Court in Norway ruled in favour of a female doctor's right to freedom of conscience. So we should never lose hope. This debate has a long way to run. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks very much, Maria. Next, I'd like you to give a big round of applause to our next speaker, who's Dr. Jim Carr, pharmacist in Drogheda, County Lough. I'm not an activist. I am not a campaigner. I am here tonight because my profession is under attack. I am a pharmacist, and professionally and ethically, I have been trained to care for two patients in pregnancy, the mother and the unborn child. When I treat a pregnant mother, sometimes it means avoiding some drugs that are going to harm the baby. Sometimes it means fine-tuning the dose of other drugs so that the mother and the baby get the best possible care. If this appalling legislation is passed, I and my colleagues will be told that in some cases we should just forget about the baby, pretend she does not exist. More than that, we will be instructed to dispense lethal chemicals to ensure that the baby ceases to exist. Pharmacists like myself who refuse will be forced into a choice between violating our integrity and leaving the professions which we have given our lives. Pharmacy, medicine, nursing, we're all under assault. Healthcare itself is being attacked at its very foundations. At the heart of healthcare is a bond of trust between the patient and the healthcare professional. How can any patient trust a healthcare professional who would be willing to act against their conscience?
Hear, hear.
Tragically, there is already a crisis of trust in Irish healthcare. People don't trust the minister. They don't. They don't trust the healthcare system. They don't trust the faceless bureaucrats who manage the healthcare system. But they do trust frontline workers. The doctors, the nurses, the pharmacists, the allied healthcare staff who work valiantly day and night to protect patients from the ravages of a broken system. Minister Harris's bill will undermine this last bastion of trust, turning healthcare workers from brave champions of patients into obedient functionaries of a heartless ideology. I entered healthcare to care and to cure, to help and to heal. I was not trained to harm or to kill. The minister's bill is a grotesque subversion of the vocation of healthcare. And I, for one, will not be an accomplice in this ideologically driven, state-sponsored barbarism. Killing is not care. Cruelty is not compassion. And I will not betray my patients and my profession by pretending otherwise.
Jim, thanks very much for that stirring speech. Next I'd like to call another great colleague, that's Dr. Aisling Bastable, a GP from County Dublin.
Thank you all for being here this evening. It means so much that you've taken the time to stand united with healthcare workers who are being coerced by the present government to become de facto abortionists. Having proper freedom of conscience protections enshrined in law for all healthcare workers is a mark of a free society. Conscience is a fundamental right under the European Convention of Human Rights and must be protected. It has been incorporated into Irish law since 2003 and includes the right to freedom of thought, religion and conscience. Therefore, we should not be forced as healthcare workers to act against our conscience. It was heartening to see reports yesterday of a new poll from Memorial Research showing that 80% of the public favour freedom of conscience protection for healthcare workers from having to be involved in facilitating abortions. We have a difficult battle ahead of us to secure worthwhile, conscientious objection for everyone working in the healthcare sector. Doctors, nurses, pharmacists, midwives, lab technicians, hospital porters, receptionists in GP surgeries, and the list goes on. A vast list of people whose lives will be impacted hugely by the government's new abortion law, and who were never consulted by the Minister for Health or any member of government about the horror of what they are being compelled to sign up to do. The poll results this week at least show that the Minister for Health's claim that there's widespread public support for every detail of what he's doing is false. So we have a question for TDs planning on voting